Hey girl, pull on my big sword. I'm strong, and I'm all yours. Huh? I said I can help you, foolish girl. Just pull on my big girthy I mean sword.
I mean, I do want to be powerful after all.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 12.
FBI, open up!
Wake up, degenerates. It's that time again. And you know what that means. Either we get fed generic schlop, or we eat good, and I mean 5-star Michelin meal good. Can't wait for Fran to evolve into that. I'd be so proud. Cute cat girl overpowers long hard reincarnated sword dude guy. It's one hell of a premise, but does it make for a good show? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Meet Fran. Fran is a part of the beast race, and Fran may be 12 in human years, but through rigorous overclocking of my brain I have deduced that the 12 human years is a whopping 70 in cat years, thus unbanning the Fran from the clutches of your hand. Now, if you just agreed with me, here's a fun tip most anime watchers don't know. The age of consent is 18 years old. Take a seat. Why don't you take a seat right over there? Isekai as a genre isn't going anywhere, is it? With so many new ideas just being thrown at the wall and turned into a new hit anime every damn season, you'd think they'd run out of ideas to throw. But just when you think it's finished, 5 more reincarnated as an insert wacky zany premise here appear out of nowhere. Every season we may get a whole slew of these new shows, but how many of them really stick to that wall? Reincarnated as a sword isn't really one that I saw people yelling from the top of the hills for, but it is one in my opinion that we can all find joy in knowing it exists. The show doesn't do too much to stand apart from the rest, but it makes up for those shortcomings by bringing all the essentials that make up a great isekai. And on top of that, it does them well. Like middle of the road well. Some may even call it decent. Now dumb jokes aside, this show may not directly steal from its contemporaries, but I'm gonna use them as a baseline to illustrate to you how Reincarnated as a Sword lifts from other sources, while still managing to be a unique experience in a stool stacked to the brim of the same items. Reincarnated as a Sword, much like Sword Art Online, both feature swords. Get to the point, dumbass! But I guess more to the point, Master, or more aptly known as Fran's Cut Your Legs Off 3000, has an S-stat in conductivity, along with a slew of other stats giving the world an RPG MMO type vibe to it. So for example, Master's S-stat in conductivity, which in layman's terms means the duo can infuse Fran's magical power into the sword, making things like the sword's attack damage 2,000 times more powerful and such. I'm a fucking nerd. So, the higher the conductivity, the more powerful the sword's attack will be. So theoretically, let's say Harry Potter with all his magical power somehow gets his hand on this sword. Expelliarmus is gonna be Avada Kedavra, and Avada Kedavra is gonna be the Death Star to Leia's homeworld. Fran may not be that OP as of now, but give her a few thousand years farming slimes and shit, and she's gonna be a bannable offense. Mark my word. You and your 30 kill nuke on Modern Warfare 2 ain't got shit on Fran and her sword, man. Speaking of swords, man, the violence in this show hits harder than Truck Kun ever could. Well, not as gory as something like the recent, and amazing by the way, Chainsaw Man. It hits really different when it's used here, almost as a grounding technique to keep you reeled into the world and believing that this world is in fact inhabited by real people, not just NPCs. It's a stark contrast from when you see Fran bumbling around without a care in the world to her chopping some dude's legs off. I mean, I love both versions, don't get me wrong, but it still takes me aback a little bit. Now, I know I was joking about the cat girl pulling on the big sword earlier, but what if I told you this show doesn't lewd the cat girl at all? Well, mostly. And even better, the swordman dude guy isn't some creepy dude trying to pounce on some underage peeps, like some other isekai protagonists. Rudius. No, instead Master takes on a fatherly role to Fran, making sure she's well fed, has clean clothes, a place to sleep, gives us much needed advice since he was a grown working adult in his previous life. It's the moments where these two interact with each other that are just the best, most wholesome thing. From Master always checking on Fran during the fight to make sure she's okay to keep going, to Fran returning the favor by making sure Master is always clean. Move over, Licorice Recoil. The best duo award goes to a sword and a cat girl. The dynamic between them really shows itself well when Fran and Master enter a goblin dungeon. Much like Goblin Slayer himself, their goal is simple: kill all the goblins inside, then the Goblin King. Throughout the dungeon, Master is always making sure Fran is okay. And then when they finally find the Goblin King, Master kills it. Fran obviously wanting that kill and isn't exactly delighted by him taking it. It's just a funny wholesome scene, and the show's glittered with those. Reincarnated as a Sword is one of those shows that you just want to watch and enjoy. The show is wholesome and unexpectedly violent at times. Maybe not something you want to watch with your grandma, but maybe instead kiss your homies to it. Give them a little pick on the cheek. It is definitely one of the isekai of all time. Adios, homies.